What makes a great wine? From the vine to the glass, the process of winemaking is as old as civilization itself, and still varies today according to the experience and the preference of the winemaker. Hand-picked wines are known globally as a producer of superior wine, delivering fine wines to their loyal consumers around the world. Our grapes are grown exclusively in the world's most premium wine-growing regions, and our wines are cared for and crafted by the most renowned winemakers in those regions. In this short video, we'll meet 3 of Australia's most prestigious winemakers who'll tell us about the wine they make exclusively for hand-picked wines. Dominic Porte of the Yarra Valley produces our Merlot range. In the Coonawarra region, Peter Douglas produces our Cabernet. While in the Barossa of South Australia, Rolf Binder makes our Shiraz. These experienced and respected winemakers have spent their lives refining their technique and expertise. Year after year, they create a superior and unique range of wine for us, and are proud to be part of the family here at Handpicked Wines. In southeastern Australia, near the city of Melbourne, sits the beautiful Yarra Valley. The Yarra is internationally recognised as one of Australia's leading wine-producing regions and is home to one of Australia's best-known winemakers, Dominic Porte. Dominic makes a Merlot exclusively for hand-picked wines.
My name is Dominic Porte. You will know by my accent that I'm a Frenchman. But I've been in Australia for quite some time. I came in this country in 1976, and I decided to come to the Yarra Valley because it is close to Melbourne, so very good for tourism, and also the quality of the wine which are produced are very high.
The Porte family have been involved in the wine industry since 1720, producing cognac for French names Hennessy and Martel. Dominic's father was the manager of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, producing some of the finest wines in Bordeaux.
I'm the 9th generation from a family winery of Vigneron, so an important part of the family for us has been making brandy. We used to sell wine to Hennessy or to Martel, which are the main producer of cognac in France. And we are going back that time around about 1720. And now, obviously, myself in 2010, I'm the 9th generation, but my son is a 10th generation, and I also just have a grandson. We maybe hopefully will be the 11th, you just don't know.
Dominic himself worked in the Medoc, the Rhone Valley, Provence, and with champagne giants Moet and Chandon. But it was the temperate climate of the Yarra Valley which allowed him to make a name for himself.
I built the winery in 2002. I bought some land. I have a very good position on the highway. I have to say that, I'm very fortunate.
Dominic's 8-year relationship with Handpicked Wines began on a very personal level when he introduced the owner of Handpicked Wines to his wife. Soon after, Handpicked Wines asked Dominic to grow and produce their Merlot.
I think Merlot has a very high reputation in the world. One of the most expensive wines is called Chateau Petrus. It is made from Merlot 100%, but it is massively expensive.
The key to maximising the flavours in the hand-picked Merlot lies with a balance of good soil types and abundant sunlight. Fermenting is longer than normal, around 3 weeks. But at the end of the day, the wine has more body, more structure and more colour.
I think what we might do differently from a lot of other people is that the winemaking technique we use are slightly different. We are more gentle. We work, I think, maybe more by flair rather than to be technical. And we use our nose, we use our eyes, and we use our brain. And that makes that when we try the wine on a daily basis, which we do during the process, we tend to activate or orientate the wine the way we want. And in that case, for us, the approach is more French than it is Australian. So at the end of the day, it's one of those wines which I think is very pleasant as a meal.
In South Australia, close to the border with Victoria and south of Mount Gambier, is Coonawarra. In a wine-growing region world famous for its Cabernet Sauvignon, Handpicked Wines partners with a respected winemaker who has worked for some of the biggest names in the industry.
My name's Peter Douglas. We're standing here in the vineyards of Coonawarra. We can tell it's Coonawarra because the red soil, fantastic red soil, and probably because it's a bit cloudy and it's not very warm. And I guess that's what's made Coonawarra famous for growing Cabernet. The combination of the red soil and the really temperate weather means long ripening and very intense flavours and big colours.
Peter has been making Cabernet Sauvignon for over 30 years, producing such varieties as Grange and 707, and managing wine production for Wynns, Lindemans, Penfolds, and now hand-picked wines.
And I started my relationship making wines for Handpicked in 2006. As the winemaker for Handpicked, I bring to the table 18 years of experience with making Coonawarra Cabernet. I've got a good idea of what a good Coonawarra Cabernet should be, and been given a good free hand by Handpicked to use the best resources, so the best oak, source the best fruit.
The secret to this unique area is the combination of the climate and the shallow red soil. The soil is the product of an ancient coral reef.
Coonawarra produces what I think is the best Cabernet in the world because of the combination of the Terra Rossa soil and the climate. The Terra Rossa soil is quite a fertile soil. Typically the soil is only about so deep, and then underneath is limestone. So the soil limits how much root growth you can get, therefore limits how much vigour you can have in the vines. So the lack of vigour and the nice cool climate, particularly the cool nights, produce Cabernet that are very intensely coloured and have a lot of this nice ripe cassis character.
Peter selects grapes for the hand-picked Cabernet Sauvignon from the best harvests in the area. Once the stems are removed, the grapes are taken to static fermenters.
These are what they call open fermenters, concrete fermenters. The juice comes from, or the must comes from the crusher. So there's a mixture of the skins and the seeds, the pulp and the juice. Cabernet and most other varieties that we use for making red wine have clear juice. So we need to keep the fermenting juice in touch with the skins for a number of days to extract the colour. So we have the grapes pumped into here, the fermentation then begins, and as each day, usually for about 10 or 20 minutes in the morning and in the afternoon, we actually ferment or pump the fermenting juice back and percolate it through the skins, and we end up with the colour. So you can see the colour now in the juice. So this has now been here fermenting for 2 days, and you can see the colour that it's picked up in 2 days. And it'll stay here fermenting with the skins for 5 to 7 days, and then we take it and we'll take it to the press and press the juice, or what then is effectively wine, away from the skins.
Once fermented, the wine goes into oak barrels for 2 years, long enough for the flavours to develop into the rich Cabernet Sauvignon we all love.
So we actually go through, look at each individual barrel and select out special barrels for the signature reserve Cabernet, and that process happens in the winter 2 years after the vintage. So it's sort of like 2.5 years in oak. So what we're endeavouring to do is make some of the best wines out of Coonawarra for this label, hand-picked Coonawarra Cabernet.
Northwest of Coonawarra, near the South Australian capital of Adelaide, lies the Barossa Valley. Here is a warm climate and soil rich with deposits from an ancient riverbed. The area was first cultivated in the 1840s by immigrants from Germany. Rolf Binder has been making wine here for 32 years and is famous for the Hannes Shiraz, a 99-point wine. His parents started the Veritas Winery in 1955, and he now runs it with his sister Krista. Rolf works in partnership with Handpicked Wines. Having scored 3 Parker's 99-point ratings, Rolf's specialty is red wines, producing Shiraz exclusively for Handpicked signature and selection labels.
I was first introduced to Handpicked Wines in 2007, and the concept was born, and we worked through 2008, and then in 2009 we put together the selection Shiraz for them, and have worked on from there, and it's been a strong, good relationship. We're standing here in the what we call our Stephanie vineyard, which is all of Shiraz, 8 acres of Shiraz, and we find these grapes are of a really, really high quality, and we're so satisfied with the quality that we use a lot of them for the hand-picked signature Shiraz, which is the upper level, or one of the upper levels of the hand-picked range. This vine was planted in 1880. It's seen many summers, many winters. It's seen drought, it's seen floods, as we say in Australia, because all you're tasting in the grape, okay, is the life, is the water out of the soil, but the root's also picking up minerality, mineral content out of the soil. Deeper down, different structure, different flavours. Simple as that.
As a second-generation award-winning winemaker, Rolf knows the secrets behind a great Shiraz.
There's a lot of modern technology to tell you when grapes are ripe, but I strongly believe the best way is to taste, because what we taste in the vineyard is what we see in the fermentation, is what ends up in the bottle. So the best thing you do is you see a lot of winemakers walk in vineyards, and there we have it. It's a simple process, but it's the flavours that are remaining in my mouth that tell me, yes, this is ready, it's not. And just having tasted that, I think in the next week we'll pick these grapes, because the flavour's there. It's spicy, it's rich, it's nice.
Rolf's approach to winemaking is to let the grapes speak for themselves, to get all the flavours out of the grapes, to mature the Shiraz for 2 years in barrels and then put it into bottles.
We look at this barrel shed, so there's 2,500 barrels in here. We actually go through and taste each barrel. And then we grade the wines in each barrel. And we now know the quality we need for the signature blend. And those barrels are selected out, what we call blended together in a tank, and then put back into oak. And this is the wine here. So if I look at it, it's got a beautiful, beautiful, rich colour. Oh, and wow, just smelling it just really entices me. So this is Shiraz 2010, year before being bottled. Deep, rich, lovely, lovely, lovely colour, structure. Just fills the mouth with flavours. Beautiful wine, great wine.
Dominic Porte, Peter Douglas and Rolf Binder are just 3 of the master winemakers in the hand-picked wines family. These passionate professionals' experience and dedication to winemaking ensure only the highest quality wines are made to bear the hand-picked brand name. Each year, we ensure our wine is sourced from the best wine regions, grown and managed by only the most respected winemakers in the world. Because of this, we at Handpicked Wines consistently produce and deliver readily available premium wine to our loyal customers. Our next journey takes us to other global regions, giving you an insight into our world of fine wines. From the heart of each of these regions, the Handpicked Wines brand connects our loyal customers to our family of respected winemakers and their passion for making fine wines to enjoy.